Wake up, Jacob. It's me, IP, and if you are rocking with the tribe, like, share, subscribe. The hits just keep on coming. It just keeps coming. I know by now you guys have probably seen the news about what happened over in Atlanta, Georgia, and they just had the services of George Floyd a week ago, roughly a week or so ago, and we have another one. We have another one. So a guy we have sleeping while black, apparently. But let's look at an article. There's a lot of articles out there right now. Sister Lynn, shalom, shalom. Could you give me 100 in the chat? Let me know that you can hear me just fine. Let me know if the volume is okay. Uh, okay, here we go again. Okay. An Atlanta police officer was fired earlier Sunday following the fatal. Thank you, Sister Lynn. Thank you very much. Shalom, shalom. So this is Rayshard Brooks. Rayshard Brooks. An Atlanta police officer was fired early Sunday following a fatal shooting of a black man, which triggered unrest and new waves of protests in the city. Rayshard Brooks, 27 years old, was fatally shot by police at a Wendy's drive-thru after officials said he resisted arrest and stole an officer's taser. Okay, we saw the video. I saw the video. I hope you guys seen the video. But let's see. It said protesters on Saturday set fire to the Wendy's restaurant where Brooks was killed and shut down an interstate highway in both directions. At least 36 people were arrested, police said. The fired officer, Garrett Rolfe, was hired by the department in October 2013, a department spokesman said. Okay. A department spokesman said Devin Brosnan, another officer at the scene, was placed on administrative duty. Okay. Rolfe's firing follows the resignation of the city's police chief, Erica Shields, who left the department just a day after the deadly shooting. In a statement, Shields said, "I have faith in the mayor, and it is time for the city to move forward and build trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve." It sure doesn't feel like they serve in the community, but, we'll see. Police said Brooks fell asleep in the Wendy's drive-thru on Friday night and had failed a sobriety test. When police tried to take him into custody, Brooks resisted and stole a taser from an officer, they said. Brooks ran from the officers, and at one point aimed the taser at police before the officer fired his weapon. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said, citing surveillance video that was released to the public. While there may be debate as to whether this was an appropriate use of deadly force, I firmly believe that there is a clear distinction between what you can do and what you should do, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms said in a news conference. I do not believe that this was a justified use of deadly force. Thank you. I agree. Brooks was taken to a local hospital where he died after surgery. Officials said one officer was treated for an injury and discharged from the hospital. L. Chris Stewart, an attorney for Brooks' family, said the officer who killed Brooks should face charges. Black, white, Hispanic, whatever you are, Stewart said in a news conference, are you not tired of seeing cases like this happen? That was a quote. Yeah, bruh. Yeah. That's what's going on with all these protests. Stewart said Brooks had planned on taking his 8-year-old daughter skating for her birthday, but never came home. She had her birthday dress on. She was waiting for her dad to come pick her up and take her skating, he said Saturday. Brooks has three daughters, ages 1, 2, and 8, and a 13-year-old stepson. Stewart told reporters that Brooks was loved by family and friends. We watched them play and laugh and be oblivious to the fact that their dad was murdered on camera, a scene that we keep repeating. Okay. The shooting comes as anti-police brutality protests have swept the country in the wake of George Floyd's death, a 46-year-old black man who died in the custody of Minneapolis police. And this is the last little bit right here, guys. The city of Atlanta was roiled by protests following Floyd's death. 6 officers were charged with assault and 4 were fired after video showed police pulling 2 college students out of their car during a demonstration on May 30th. The officers used a stun gun on the driver and passenger. Footage of the incident was broadcast live by WGCL TV. Guys, this just keeps happening. It just, I said in another video, it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep happening. It's just going to keep happening. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's going to keep happening, brothers and sisters. You know what? I was going to do a separate video, and I think what I'm going to do is just talk about some predictions. Some of my predictions, I mean, you know what? I may do a video anyway so I can really lay out all of my predictions, but I'll say a couple things. Now, some of them won't be new. And believe me, I'm not a Nostradamus, not a prophet or anything like that. But I see some things. Obviously, we see food shortages, right? A lot of people are talking about that. Food shortages, going to be meat shortages and stuff like that. We see the gas prices are kind of slowly creeping back up to where it was. We're going to get to a new normal, but it's not going to be like it was. We'll never be back the way it was. But if this persists, this keeps going on, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a race war. I do not want a race war, but apparently that war has been waged so far. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not going to all be color. It's starting with color, but it's not going to all be color because there's some Gentiles who are going to sympathize with the black man's plight. So it's not going to be strictly that. But if this continues, there's definitely going to be a race war. How can it not? It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. And to cover it up, you know, to minimize it, you know, people will be like, hey, see this, we're talking about Black Lives Matter. And of course, someone else is going to come along and say all lives matter. I just saw, who was that person? It was a celebrity. I don't remember right now. I'm drawing a blank, but they kind of went to, you know, all lives matter. Really bad to do right now in this particular climate to, you know, to scream out all lives matter, because of course they reason, well, you know, all lives do matter and all that. Did we just lose another all life, or did we lose a black life just now? Again, the same thing. The same thing is happening. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, Brother Stockton. Blessings to you and your household. The same thing is happening. Same thing. The exact same thing. Now, let me, mind you, if you have not seen the video, you should see the video. I saw it on Facebook, but you should see the video. And there's 3 angles, right? It was the body cam of like the second officer, meaning he wasn't doing the talking. You know, the first officer was doing the talking and, you know, asking them questions. How much have you drank? And, you know, how much alcohol have you had? And will you take a breathalyzer and all this other stuff? But then after that plays, and then the next one plays, it's of the first officer, the one who's actually asking him the questions. And then another camera, which it looks like it was coming off Wendy's, the building, a camera off that. It's getting. Now I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you look at the video and you decide. You know, I mean, I know that's the court of public opinion, but you decide if it was a lawful or unlawful use of deadly force. I'll let you figure that out. I mean, what is going on? Now, I'll tell you a couple of things that I saw. Now, obviously, he's asking the same question over and over and over. Okay, how much you have to drink? What did you drink? Okay, now in the beginning, he said, hey, I had 2 margaritas or 1.5 margaritas. Okay, when you see the video, I had 1.5 margaritas. I was drinking, and then he was calm. He was like, hey, you know, hey, I've been drinking, da da da. And he said, would you do a breathalyzer test? He was like, well, I mean, I don't even know what that is. What is that? He said, well, you take it and we check, you know, your blood alcohol or whatever. He said, well, I did drink. Well, I know, but you know, if you. So here's the thing. Here's my thought. Okay, and this is someone not trained in law, right? But here's my thought. What could have happened? Now, he's already saying that he had something to drink. So we know that. Mind you, he was not driving. He fell asleep in his car in the parking lot. Okay, he was not driving. Okay, so he was sleeping it off. You know how some people that drink a little bit, you sleep it off. Okay, so one, he wasn't pulled over because he was driving recklessly or anything like that, but he was sleeping it off. So he's in the parking lot, he's sleeping it off. That's why he got called. He said, "Hey, dude, there's a dude, black man in his car sleeping, in the parking lot." Cops came by. They wanted to see, hey, what's going on? Is he drunk and all that? And he did say, hey, I was drinking. He said, I'm going around the corner to my, to my baby mama, my daughter's birthday and da-da-da. I want to do this. And then, we'll go get something to eat. I'm like, okay, cool. We get something to eat. So he's talking, drunk. Obviously, he's been drinking, right? But not driving. And, of course, the questions come out, the full body cam videos there. So he's asking different questions. What'd you drink? What'd you drink? What'd you drink? And all that. So he's telling them, and then after that he says some top shelf, right? And he's like, what kind? He said, I don't remember, whatever. But he already said, hey, I've been drinking. So here's the thing. I'm thinking, okay, if he said, hey, my sister's house right around the corner. Now we're supposed to be protect and serve, right? Now you're a cop and you're coming up to investigate what's going on. The guy's sleeping in his car, right? Now, he's honest with you. Yes, I've been drinking. Yes, I had something to drink, blah, blah, blah. He could have refused the breathalyzer test, but we both know you would have taken him to jail anyway. But could this have happened? When he said, hey, my sister's around the corner or whatever. Okay, let's call your sister so you don't get out back on the street and cause damage to yourself or someone else. Could we not have called the sister? Could we not have called his baby mama? Could we not have called that and say, hey, or if it really was around the corner, could you take him around the corner, take his keys, take him around the corner and say, hey, yeah, he's drunk, whatever. He shouldn't be out here, here, let him go inside, sleep it off, whatever. Here's his keys. The car is over at the Wendy's. Is that unreasonable? Is that crazy? Could we have called an Uber? Wait till the Uber's there, wait till the Uber shows up or something, or something, anything. He could just slept it off. So you're telling me, this is what you're telling me. You're telling me that sleeping in a car, you're telling me that it was worth him dying. Okay, don't get it twisted. He was not driving drunk, sleeping it off in the car. That's someone who says, you know what, I had a little too much to drink. Let me just go ahead and, But no. We couldn't do that. We had to, you know what, take this breathalyzer test. He takes the test and says, yep, I determined that you had too much drink. Got to go ahead and arrest you. This is what we have to do. You have to come to a car, dude, sleeping it off. You have to come to the car and he must be arrested. And at this point, it's like, oh, and I know, and I've already seen you guys, already seen it on tape, I've already seen it where they're trying to bark out some commands at you or whatever, and then starting to say, oh, he's got a gun, he's got to go, oh, he got my taser, don't grab my taser, don't do this, all that. I've seen a video where the guy said, there's a gun. The dude didn't even move. And the guy says, gun. He's like, what gun? What are you talking about? Let me see your hands. Why is police officer freaking out? What the hell is going on? They're freaking out. I told you I saw one. I'm looking at the video. Dude, officer, tell me, give me your license registration. Dude, reaches to the glove compartment. He gets shot in the leg. And he says, why'd you shoot me? Oh, I thought you was reaching for a gun. What do you mean? You told me to get my registration. You told me to do... Guys, I don't know how much more this is. I don't know. I don't know how much more this is going to take. I don't know. If this continues, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. Look for that. Look for the video, guys. I saw the one on Facebook, and it's 3 different angles. Let's see the guy's name, so you guys can probably just YouTube it or something like that. Rayshard Brooks. Look at that. Atlanta police officer fired after fatally shooting black man Rayshard Brooks. So check that out. Check that out. Okay, okay. There's another story. Robert Fuller found lynched in oh man, California. I'll look that up, sister. I'll look that up. But this is they're waging war. They're waging war. And so far, apparently, it is against the unawakened Israelites. And I mean, Israelites, they probably don't even know that they're Israel. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to know who you are to fall up under these curses. We're gonna get it anyway. But my point is, guys, this some of our own brethren, and again, there's unawakened Israel. I don't know. Maybe some of them did know. I doubt it. But I don't know what they know. But for now, since I don't know, I'm just gonna say unawakened Israel. They don't know that a war has been waged against them. They don't know. It's just I don't even I don't even know what to do with all this. Story after story after story. I mean, just left and right. I mean, this is getting completely ridiculous. I mean, we're fresh off George Floyd, his whole memorial and funeral and all. We're fresh off that, and another one bites the dust. So you tell me what's going on. You tell me how else can we interpret this? I'm not trying. Look. Let me make it clear. I'm not trying to incite anything. I'm just reading the tea leaves. That's all I'm doing. Sorry, I'm banging on the table. I'm just reading the tea leaves. That's it. I'm not trying to incite anything. Hey, like anybody else, I just want to have my family, build my tribe, and live peaceably with all men, if at all possible. That's all I want, if at all possible. That's all I want. That's it. But you tell me what's happening. How do you interpret this? How do you interpret this when a person's life can be, when you can walk out the door, okay, as a person of color, when you can walk out of the door and not know if you're coming back? And it can be for anything. Anything. It's like that song, Ice Cube got a song, My Skin Is My Sin. Okay, it can be for anything. I read a meme or something like that, and someone it wasn't a meme, but it was a post, and it was a screenshot of someone's comment, like a Twitter, and one of it was it said something like all this rioting and protesting and all that should be peace, peace, and all this violence or whatever. You need to protest peace and all this other stuff and speak against it peaceably. And then somebody commented and they say, Martin Luther King was peaceful and you shot him for it. It's like, okay, if you sit down, that's bad. If you kneel, that's bad. If you are sitting in the street with your hands up, that's not good enough. If you comply, that's not good enough. If you plead for your life, I can't breathe, that's not good enough. You tell me what's good enough. What's good enough? You tell me. And everyone and everything's got to get called into questions. Got to go into your criminal background and you're doing this and that. We have to deal with the situation at hand. What's going on right now? And does what's going on right now worth you killing me? You go for a jog, that can get you killed. You can sell cigarettes, that can get you killed. You can put your hands up, that can get you killed. Everything can get you killed. It doesn't matter what you do, it can get you killed. Man, and yet, somebody's going to come along who don't sympathize with your plight and tell you all the things you could do to make it better? I mean, to not get killed in there. Well, if you just simply, if you resist, you get killed. If you comply, you get killed. If you're respectful, you get killed. If you're disrespectful, you get killed. How exactly? How it doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. Look, brothers and sisters, look. Get your get your tribe together, get your community together, get your numbers up, get it together so that and before anyone get it misconstrued, when for anyone say, hey, he's trying to go to war and start fight. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is that so you don't go anywhere by yourself. That's what I'm saying. If I'm in community with a brother or something like that, hey, guess what? I probably shouldn't even go to the hardware store by myself. It gotta be me and another brother or something. And I don't even mean just a brother with melanin. I'm talking about whatever. If you're in the same faith, okay? Don't go anywhere by yourself. The sisters don't go anywhere by themselves. I mean, because it does not matter. Okay, do you not now? Do you believe we're still in the land of our captivity? You believe that now? You see that? You see that? Because it doesn't matter. It's not. You go to Africa, that's not your land. You go to South America, that's not your land. You go to Central America, it's not your land. Over here, it's not your land. You go to Europe, it's not your land. No matter where you go, it's not yours, Israel. It's not yours. Now, do you still think you're being oppressed? Separation from your homeland and your ancestors, severed off from your culture and your history into the diaspora or diaspora, coming across the ocean, land in slavery. You get out of slavery, you have segregation. You come out of segregation, you got mass incarceration. And I know we're not all famous, but now you have assassination. It just doesn't stop. You go from one calamity to the next. It just doesn't stop. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's the message. That's the message. Leilani, that's the message. We have to endure to the end. We do. This is why the Messiah was talking about enduring until the end. This is why. Because you're going to be tested. Stuff like this is going to happen. You're going to be tested. And you have to endure until the end, until all this is over. You're going to have to. They have everything, every advantage. This is to the time of the Gentiles, right? This is the time of the Gentiles. They have every advantage, okay? They have the power, they have the money, they have the firearms, they have everything, but they don't have Yah. That's the good news. They don't have the Messiah. So you and I have to endure until the end. Obviously, it goes without saying, we got to be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And I have to pepper stuff in there like that so someone doesn't take out what I'm saying and say, oh, well, he wants to, incite people and get militia and all that. No, we're outnumbered. You can't win. You can't win. You can't win. We have to endure until the end. And don't fear them who can destroy the body and after that have nothing else. You know who you should fear. Better yet, you know who you should serve. Because that's the most important thing. All I can say, Israel, is keep your eyes open. Stay awake. And prepare for what is to come. Prepare. Because it's not, well, is this going to happen or is that going to... It's already happening, brothers and sisters. It's already happening. And understand you serve a Messiah that has already overcome the world. He already has a plan. It's already going to be set in motion. The devil knows he has but a little bit of time. So he's going to raise unholy hell on the earth. You guys got to keep that in mind. He's going to raise unholy hell on the earth. We just have to be prepared. We just got to get strapped in and get ready, because it's going to be one long ride. Don't let all these other things distract you. Be very stable minded. Be focused. Laser focused. Because it's bad out there, brothers and sisters. It's bad. And it keeps on going. I said another video, it's going to keep happening. Is going to keep happening. Because we forget, police officers, look, all I know is this. Police officers, they are humans as well. And guess what? They can have a bad day too. They can be at home and the wife can sing them the blues, can get just raise holy hell or whatever. He can't hate his wife, so he can go to work and be ticked off. But look who's paying the price of this other human having a bad day, maybe. I'm not saying that's their thing, Some of them have hate in their heart. Some of them are racist and prejudiced and all that stuff. I get it. I know. But, you're talking about, what happened to de-escalating a situation? What happened to that? Someone sleeping one off and he has to die? Guys, stay safe out there. Move in groups. Keep your camera going. And if at all possible, I want to say live peaceably with all men, but it just doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter what you do. I'll see you guys on the next one. This is Light Prepper.